Coming up, Missouri passes a milestone in the fight against COVID. And Mizzou shuts down fraternity activities after an incident of alcohol poisoning. Also, despite supply chain issues, some area grocery stores have fully stocked shelves.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first let's go to Michael Hayslip in the Skywatch Weather Center.
Start off Friday about like where we were on Thursday. Clear skies, cool temps ranging anywhere from high 30s. We got a slew of 39s there running through southeast Kansas and then into southwest Missouri and Lamar, Nevada, down to 37, but then we're all the way up around 43, 44 for every place else. Like I said, it's just a result of losing the overnight cloud cover that we had. Would have been nice if it would have stuck around a little bit and kept some of that warmth in for us. As far as what we're looking at from the winds, eventually going to move in from the east-southeast. You can tell it's swirling out there a little bit up to the north, but it's nice and calm, and so we don't have any concerns on that. Now, as far as our afternoon planner goes, sunshine on this Friday, going to lift us up into the low to mid 70s, so actually warmer than what we had yesterday. Hard to beat it. Going to be a nice night for some high school football as well. Here's what Future Track has. Remember, it is tomorrow morning what we're waiting for, because it's going to roll in from the west right there as we see it bring some pretty good hard rain, thunder, and lightning. Eventually going to last the duration of the morning into the early afternoon hours, and a 7-day forecast that not only sets us up with some warmer temperatures on Saturday and Sunday, but some additional rainfall then again for Saturday night into Sunday morning.
Gonna have that rain.
It's coming.
All right, thanks, Michael. The Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services on Thursday announced that more than 3 million Missourians are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. The milestone comes as the state concludes its vaccine incentive program, MoVIP. Officials say nearly 480,000 Missourians initiated vaccinations since the program began. Cases are also down in the state, with daily infections around half of what they were a month ago. The Jasper County Health Department reports 4 more COVID-19 deaths. Health officials say the patients were 3 men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and a woman in her 60s. The latest deaths bring the county's total to 231. The University of Missouri has suspended all fraternity activities after a report of a freshman with alcohol poisoning. It happened early Wednesday at Phi Gamma Delta. The suspension includes social events and university-sanctioned activities. The Interfraternity Council voted to support the decision. The student in this latest incident was found unresponsive and taken to a hospital. No word on that student's condition. Some popular 4-state grocery stores tell us nationwide supply chain issues are not affecting what's on their shelves. Supply, shipping, and trucking issues have led to higher prices and empty shelves at stores across the country. And a new survey from Oracle says 52% of Americans have responded by getting a head start on their holiday shopping. But 4-staters might be in luck when it comes to keeping the pantry stocked. We reached out to 5 area grocery stores to find out if they're dealing with empty shelves and product shortages. Only Food for Less in Joplin told us keeping shelves consistently stocked is an issue. Apple Market in Columbus, King Cash Saver in Carthage, Harps in Joplin, and Ron's in Pittsburgh say for the most part, their shelves are stocked and they're ready for the holiday rush.
We are looking at our turkey supply chain as far as our meat shop, and right now we're in good shape, so we haven't started any pre-ordering for customers on that just yet because we know we're getting everything we're supposed to.
The owner of Ron's Supermarket also says he predicts the few supply chain issues he's encountered will improve following the holiday season. Wednesday, U.S. Senator from Missouri Josh Hawley introduced a bill to take aim at the supply chain issues. The Make in America to Sell in America Act would identify key goods to the U.S. for an annual report. It would also require corporations make a certain percentage of product here in America.
So I would say to all of those big multinational corporations, if you want to sell critical goods in the United States, you got to make at least half of it in the United States. That would secure our supply chains and give us good paying jobs. it would put us in a position of strength.
Hawley says the identified critical goods from the annual report would be subject to local content requirements. Mercy Hospital leaders kicked off the hospital's 125th anniversary celebration yesterday. Mercy leaders gathered at the site where the hospital's founders, the Sisters of Mercy, first stepped foot in Joplin. The Griffin building now sits on this land, but 125 years ago it was a train station. Thursday's event is part of a year-long celebration for Mercy Hospital. Area students explore life in the 1800s in historic Cato, Kansas. The 1869 Cato Schoolhouse is once again hosting Cato Days, which continues into Saturday. Students yesterday got a look at Civil War weapons, blacksmithing, and how farm to table worked then. Organizers also had an Osage tribe teepee set up with items the tribe would have used. Some Missouri Southern freshmen got into the fall spirit yesterday by carving and decorating pumpkins. The event was hosted by the First Year Experience Program and the Advising, Counseling, and Testing Department. One student we spoke with says it offers a chance to show off artistic skills.
It's a great way for us to show off our creativity. A lot of us can be art majors or any kind of major. We all have a little bit of creativity in us, and if we can't, we can always Google an image, and it's easy to paint it on if you're not super artistic.
The pumpkin carving and decorating event took place in the campus oval. Volunteers helped put together a new play set to a local 4-year-old fighting cancer. Volunteers started construction at 9 yesterday morning, and a few hours later they revealed the new set to Gabe Garrison and his family. The 4-year-old Carl Junction kid is fighting leukemia. Yesterday he was a pretty happy kid.
When they called us and asked us about if we wanted to do this, I thought, oh, absolutely. Like, that will be Gabe's most favorite thing ever. And just seeing him do it, like, he likes it more than I thought he would. I figured it would be like, oh yeah, it's really cool, but hearing all the stuff, it's just so much better than I thought.
The Rock Solid Foundation and Backyard Discovery programs help make the donation possible. It's 5:07.
High 30s, low to mid 40s, so still a chilly one out there. We're going to want a jacket for you and the kids when you walk outside this afternoon. Sunny skies and lifting up into the low to mid 70s, so it'll be an absolutely delightful Friday afternoon with overnight rain developing out to the west. Not going to get too cold overnight, but here come the thunderstorms. It's been time for Saturday morning as they formulate and move through. Early a.m. is when they start. That's some heavy rain, thunder, lightning, and the whole nine. Going to take us into the afternoon hours. Clear off, and then look what we've got on Sunday. We've got more rain activity. Sunday's going to shape up to be a little bit of a wet one as our temperatures will be fine. Just the amount of water we're going to get there on Saturday and Sunday going to be a lot before we start the new work week.
Let's look at this morning's top stories in weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, 2 local softball teams made it to the quarterfinals. Did they make it through the night? We find out. Plus, do you dance like no one is watching? And gun violence in 28 states rose during the pandemic. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Oh, Thursday night high school football action in southeast Kansas. Columbus Titans hosting a district matchup against the Caney Valley Bullpups in the final game of the regular season. Both teams entering the night 2-2 in district play. Columbus looking to avoid a 3-game losing streak. First drive for Caney off the fake. Cody Schalk comes up with a huge sack. Offensively, not a whole lot going for Columbus in the first half. Gabe Martin gets loose. How about a 40-yard pickup? But even after Martin turns that thing into 40, Titans not able to capitalize in the first half. Find themselves down 8-0 at the break. Second half, offense gets going on the first drive. Brett Hamilton fires down the middle to a wide open Cole Minor. Minor in for the Titans' first touchdown of the game. Go for the 2-point conversion. Hamilton keeps it and gets it. Just like that, we're knotted at 8. Columbus with the ball back. Hamilton throwing again. Double coverage. Doesn't matter. Minor comes down with it in between 2 defenders. Columbus outscores Caney 30-0 in the second half. Titans win it 30-8. Pittsburgh State Gorillas hitting the road to Missouri Western this weekend. It is week 8 of MIAA play as the Gorillas 5-2 this season coming off a big 59-7 victory over Lincoln. Now on the other side, Mo Western 3-4. They have had some losses to good teams and beat Fort Hays State earlier this season. For the Gorillas, just 4 games left. If they want to have any shot at playing at more than that, aka going to the playoffs, know what they got to do in those 4 remaining games.
We're in a position where we're still playing meaningful games here throughout the stretch of the season, and that's a good place to be. Certainly could be 2 games better, and you always can look back on those things and dwell on that, but we have to continue to move forward and continue to get better.
We go out and we prepare every week to win every game, and so that hasn't changed. And we've ran into a lot of adversity, which isn't anything unlike what we deal with every year, and I think we've done a great job of handling that.
For us to pass the test that we're looking to pass, we've got to make it through this and be playing our best football.
Kansas City Chiefs also on the road this weekend. Get to make the trip to Tennessee. Kansas City's made it back to 500, 3-3 after last week's blowout win over Washington. And the offense special once again this season, one of just 3 teams averaging more than 300 total yards per week. Far and away the best team in the league on third down, converting 60% of those third down tries.
The coaches do a great job of of telling us what to expect on third downs. And I think guys, at the end of the day, guys get open. I threw a couple short passes the other day, like with Jarrett McKinnon, and he freaking breaks 5 tackles to get a first down. Guys get vertical. They know where the sticks are. And I think having good first and second down as well and keeping us in those third and short situations helps out that a lot as well.
On to the softball diamond, where last night it was quarterfinal night of the Missouri Class 4 state softball bracket. 2 local teams still alive in Class 4 in Webb City and Nevada. We'll start with Nevada as the Tigers host Platts County, looking to move to the Final Four. Now Platts got an early 2-0 lead. Mackenzie Shields adds to that in the first with runners on. Shields with a home run to right field. Now 5-0 Platte County. Same score in the fourth. Ball looks like it's going to get out of here, but Skylar Burns robs it at the fence. Burns keeps it in play for Nevada. Pirates still manage to put up a big inning though. Corey Church up the middle, 2 score off the hit, pushes the lead to 8. Platte County wins it 10-0. Great season though for Nevada with an overall 20-11 record.
Talent, and so then it was just a matter of putting everything together. Obviously winning a district championship is a major thing that we'll look back on the season and remember fondly. Winning 20 games, playing a tough schedule, something very proud of, and just the growth that some of our younger players made throughout the course of this season and the leadership that our upperclassmen provided are all things that really helped us accomplish what we did and win 20 games.
Webb City had to make that trek up to Rolla for the state quarterfinals, and a great game went extra innings, and Rolla beats Webb City 10-9. Congratulations to the Cardinals on a fine season as they finished 17-13 overall. Still to come on the KOAM Morning News, volcanic activity in Spain could continue for weeks or even months. And a check on our 7-day forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Just a touch past 5:17 on an October 22nd. Let's start with the old Daily Almanac. Take a look at our records that date back to 2020. Just 1 year ago, we sat at 85 degrees. We've been talking about how warm October has been so far in 2021. Well, turn it back 365 days, and that is the record high. 1982 dropped down to 27 degrees. Now, we're chilly, but we're not that chilly. Live look over 7th and Rangeline, 41 degrees. You notice the humidity at 93%. We are seeing just a little patchy fog in low-lying areas. Want everybody to be apprised of that. Humidity is not going to last too long, and it's not widespread. We don't have any dense fog advisories or anything in effect. 37 in Nevada, 41 in Neosho. Let's go 42 right now in Independence. Miami also sits at 42. So that's about where we were yesterday. I think it's some more widespread 30s than what we experienced on Thursday, but it's about the same. And the wind, while it's variable, very, very calm outside right now. Of course, that's reflectivity from the Skywatch storm tracker. Really just wanted to point out our lack of even cloud cover. Very clear night, and we did have some overnight clouds, but those are a thing of the past as they've moved off from the east. It's a jet stream now sweeping all that cold air. That front has moved into this deep southeastern portion of the United States. It's going to stay over us for just the morning. By the time we get into the afternoon, we'll begin to have some of this warmth of the color contour begin to make its way back in toward us. Not going to challenge that record high that we had just 1 year ago, but we'll have mid-70s with sunny skies. It'll be absolutely delightful. Let's go ahead and press into tonight with a high school football kickoff forecast. Temperatures pretty much low to mid-60s with just a little southwest breeze. Remember, that's a 7 o'clock hour. And then if you're on the road, traveling, headed anywhere, having no concerns whatsoever, going to be absolutely gorgeous. Now, Saturday, our tune changes a little bit because late tonight, we begin to develop thunderstorm activity out to the west. And as it rolls through, be here in time for early Saturday morning, all the way through the morning hours into the afternoon. That good line is going to bring us not only heavy rain, but also too thunder and lightning. And then here we go on Sunday morning. Sunday's shaping up to be a wet one as it just kind of continues to roll through bit by bit. And 7-day forecast shows you it's because of the instability that we're going to pick up with warmer temperatures that'll put us in the 70s, even 80s by next week. Time now to turn our attention to the KOAM News Now Facebook page, our morning Insta poll. Have a little fun this morning as an Alaskan flagger with moves like Jagger. Drivers in the Anchorage area get to view a little fancy footwork as they're directed around construction. Lauren Maxwell with the story.
If you've driven the Seward Highway between Anchorage and Girdwood, there's a good chance you've seen him. Patrick Deacon is that energetic flagger.
I never thought anybody would find my dad entertaining.
That people love to watch. There's his classic X stance that brings traffic to a halt. The over-the-shoulder slow down, and the go-go-go with dramatic hand flourish. They're moves that made his boss wonder the first time she met the novice flagger 2 years ago.
I was kind of shocked.
Until she noticed the effect on the people in line.
Some people were cheering, some people were honking, people put their hand out the window and they were like, woo! Like, everybody was really excited to see him.
By all accounts, Patrick Deacon is a happy man.
I love all the jobs I've ever been in.
An Alaskan who appreciates the beauty around him.
This is your office.
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
He also likes working with the public, who for the most part treat him well.
You get a lot of snacks.
Snacks?
Oh yeah.
Candy bars, bottles of water held or tossed out the window, and even this.
Yeah, and here's the front.
A thank you card from someone who says Deacon really made his day when he was down.
It was just a great card. It's really hard to explain and put into words, but it's really awesome.
Pretty soon, the flagging season will wrap up, and Patrick Deacon will be missed.
Some people are like, he's the best flagger ever. He needs an award. Alaska's best flagger, and I couldn't agree more. He really does just make people happy.
Deacon has promised he'll be back at his post next spring.
Have a little fun to cap off our work week. Do you dance like no one's watching? I hope it's yes. KOAMNewsNow.com/vote or connect to us via Facebook. We'll be back with Health Watch next.
Coming up, Missouri passes a milestone in the fight against COVID. And Mizzou shuts down fraternity activities after an incident of alcohol poisoning. Also, despite supply chain issues, some area grocery stores have fully stocked shelves.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Tanya Bach. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first, let's go to Michael Hayslip.
A little cool this morning. Whole lot more 30s than what we said. Temperatures there's not a big difference in temperatures. There's a lot more 30s out there, 39s, if you will, than what we had even yesterday. 41 is where we stand in Joplin, and there gives you an idea where it ranges from. Really, 39 to about 43. Everybody kind of huddled close together. No large difference in temperatures. With the front now settled over us. Remember, the blue and green, we take off the sweeping radar. The blue and green ceases to exist. The cloud cover that we had yesterday is now pushed all the way on the east side of the Mississippi. High pressure still hanging over us. Oh, what is up there in the Omaha all the way to Minneapolis region, you ask? Yes, they are still in the midst of freeze warnings, frost advisories, the whole nine. So even though our temperatures have been cooler than normal, let's remember we're not really far off from where we should be here. We got 9 days left in the month of October and what's been a warm one so far. Weather trend for today, and another nice one. Sunny skies, and we'll go low to mid 70s. Then we get ready for the activity that's going to start cooking out to the west late tonight into early Saturday morning. And as it rolls through, we're going to talk about some hard rain that's going to be coming down right there. Thunder and lightning for Saturday morning as well. Pushes from west to east, going to last to the afternoon hours. Then as we get into Sunday, look at this. Reload on Sunday. And additional rainfall. Severe thunderstorm risk map for at least Saturday into Sunday does try to keep everything just to the north of us, but that does not mean we won't experience, with the heavy rain, some high wind as well on both Saturday and Sunday.
Keep an eye on those this weekend.
Sorry,
for sure.
I didn't mean to do that on air, but I was about to, my voice was just about to.
Coffee's good for you. We
My
like it.
voice is like the temperatures on the cold front.
You need it. Warm it up. All right, thanks, Michael. The Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services on Thursday announced that more than 3 million Missourians are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. The milestone comes as the state concludes its vaccine incentive program, MoVIP. Officials say nearly 480,000 Missourians initiated vaccination since the program began. Cases are also down in the state, with daily infections around half of what they were a month ago. The Jasper County Health Department reports 4 more COVID-19 deaths. Health officials say the patients were 3 men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and a woman in her 60s. The latest deaths bring the county's total to 231. The University of Missouri has suspended all fraternity activities after a report of a freshman with alcohol poisoning. It happened early Wednesday at Phi Gamma Delta. The suspension includes social events and university-sanctioned activities. The Interfraternity Council voted to support the decision. The student in this latest incident was found unresponsive and taken to a hospital. No word on that student's condition. Across the country, supply chain issues have resulted in product shortages and empty store shelves, but many popular four-state grocery stores say they've managed to avoid the mess. KOAM's Mike Mahoney spoke to the owner of Ron's Supermarket in Pittsburgh and store managers throughout the four-state area to learn more.
Supply, shipping, and trucking issues have led to higher prices and empty shelves at stores across the country, and it's got many shoppers concerned. A new survey from Oracle says 52% of Americans have responded by getting a head start on their holiday shopping. But when it comes to keeping the pantry stocked, four-staters may be in luck. The owner of Ron's Supermarket in Pittsburgh says planning ahead has his grocery store ready for the holidays.
We have not experienced the supply chain issues that we were experiencing a year ago. There are a few things here and there, but we work very closely with our suppliers to make sure that when we see something coming, we prepare for it, order in advance.
And it's not just Ron's Supermarket that says shoppers can find what they need. KOAM also reached out to Apple Market in Columbus, King Cash Saver in Carthage, Harps in Joplin, and Food for Less in Joplin, and only Food for Less told us they are having issues keeping items in stock. The other grocery stores say shoppers don't have to take any extra steps to get what they need for a holiday feast.
We are looking at our turkey supply chain as far as our meat shop, and right now we're in good shape, so we haven't started any pre-ordering for customers on that just yet because we know we're getting everything we're supposed to.
A few shoppers spoke to KOAM about their recent shopping experiences and say for the most part they've been able to find what they were looking for without much hassle.
I do a lot of shopping all over, all the way down into Joplin, Carthage, but I do most of my shopping in Pittsburgh. And I do various places, Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart. I haven't encountered any problems whatsoever.
In Pittsburgh, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
The owner of Ron's Supermarket also says he predicts the few supply chain issues he's encountered will improve following the holiday season. Wednesday, U.S. Senator from Missouri Josh Hawley introduced a bill to take aim at the supply chain issues. The Make in America to Sell America Act would identify key goods to the U.S. for an annual report. It would also require corporations make a certain percentage of product here in America.
I would say to all of those big multinational corporations, if you want to sell critical goods in the United States, you got to make at least half of it in the United States. That would secure our supply chains and give us good paying jobs. It would put us in a position of strength.
Hawley says the identified critical goods from the annual report would be subject to local content requirements. Mercy Hospital leaders kicked off the hospital's 125th anniversary celebration yesterday. Mercy leaders gathered at the site where the hospital's founders, the Sisters of Mercy, first stepped foot in Joplin. The Griffin building now sits on this land, but 125 years ago, it was a train station. Thursday's event is part of a year-long celebration for Mercy Hospital. Area students explore life in the 1800s and historic Cato, Kansas. 1869 Cato Schoolhouse is once again hosting Cato Days, which continues into Saturday. Students yesterday got a look at Civil War weapons, blacksmithing, and how farm to table worked then. Organizers also had an Osage tribe teepee set up along with items the tribe would have used. Some Missouri Southern freshmen got into the fall spirit yesterday by carving and decorating pumpkins. The event was hosted by the First Year Experience program and the Advising, Counseling, and Testing program. One student we spoke with says it offers a chance to show off artistic skills.
It's a great way for us to show off our creativity. A lot of us can be art majors or any kind of major. We all have a little bit of creativity in us, and if we can't, we can always Google an image, and it's easy to paint it on if you're not super artistic.
Pumpkin carving and decorating event took place in the campus oval. Volunteers helped put together a new play set to a local 4-year-old who's fighting cancer. Volunteers started construction at 9 yesterday morning, and a few hours later they revealed the new set to Gabe Garrison and his family. The 4-year-old Carl Junction kid is fighting leukemia. Yesterday, he was a pretty happy kid.
They called us and asked us about if we wanted to do this. I thought, oh, absolutely. Like, that will be Gabe's most favorite thing ever. And just seeing him do it, like, he likes it more than I thought he would. I figured it would be like, oh yeah, it's really cool, but hearing all the stuff, it's just so much better than I thought.
The Rock Solid Foundation and Backyard Discovery programs helped make the donation possible. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, concerns expressed over paying the ransom demanded by the Haitian gangsters for the hostages. Plus, Ozzy Osbourne and his wife Sharon's love story goes to the big screen. We'll have the latest there. But first, it's 5:37.
A little bit of a chill in the air this morning, ranging from about 37 to 43 degrees. Clear skies and sunshine after sunrise at 7:33 lifts us into the low to mid 70s. A high school football kickoff forecast. The temperatures you see on your right-hand side indicate 7 o'clock. And we'll go anywhere from about 60 to 65, so just a delightful evening. But remember, thunderstorm activity is on its way late tonight, all throughout Saturday morning, and that's going to bring us some pretty good rain as it rolls through right there. Additional rainfall on Sunday as well. We'll be back with World Watch right after this.
Topping World Watch, in Haiti, the gang that kidnapped the 17 missionaries has asked for $17 million in ransom. But concerns are rising over what this could mean to the safety of other Americans in the country. Joe Johns has more on the story.
The wait continues for information on the American missionaries who were snatched off the road near Port-au-Prince here in Haiti on Saturday. At last report, the kidnappers were asking for $17 million. That's $1 million each for every man, woman, and child they took. I spoke to Father Rick Frechette. He is a Catholic priest, best known for the medical care he gives to sick children here, but also has been called in repeatedly to help deal with kidnapping cases, including 4 cases involving the group that is alleged to have created this latest situation. He said he's very concerned that if a large ransom is paid, it could mean a price on the head of other Americans in this country.
If there's big ransom paid for these people, you can kiss all of us goodbye, because there's not going to be hope for anybody. An 8-month-old child is in their hands. A 3-year-old child is in their hands. So it's different, and it's taking on a whole symbolic. It's taking on a symbolic nature that the individual cases haven't had.
More information also is slowly trickling out about the mission of these missionaries in Haiti. We're told that of late they had been helping people whose homes had been destroyed in the last earthquake to rebuild. Joe John, CNN, Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
Well, the gang that kidnapped 17 missionaries from the United States and Canada in Haiti provided proof of life for all of them yesterday. That's according to Haitian authorities. The gang leader, Wilson Joseph, posted a video saying he will kill the hostages if he does not get what he's demanding. $1 million requested for each of the kidnapped missionaries. Also yesterday, the interim head of the Haitian police submitted his resignation. Remember that raging volcano that's been erupting for about a month on Spain's Canary Islands? It's forced the evacuation now of about 500 more people. That was just overnight as lava streamed closer to their town. Some say they had only about an hour to get out. They're among the roughly 8,000 people forced from their homes. Volcanologists say the eruption could continue for weeks or even months. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Let's toss it over to Michael for our Something to Talk About.
Dinah this morning on the KOM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll. Patrick Deacon is his name. He works in Alaska and directs traffic with a little bit of flair. Works on the Seaward Highway between Anchorage and Girdwood, and I mean, the dude's just nonstop moving the entire day. But drivers say puts a smile on their face having to wait in traffic. So for a little Friday fun, we decided to ask you, do you dance like no one's watching? 55% of you say, I'll break it down. And maybe the 45% of you say no, you're like, I don't care if anybody's watching me, I'm still gonna break it down. Take part, connect to us via Facebook, have some fun with us on this Friday. Go straight to the poll, KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. News you need to know before you head out the door right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services on Thursday announced more than 3 million Missourians are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. The milestone comes as the state concludes its vaccine incentive program, MoVIP. Officials say nearly 480,000 Missourians initiated vaccinations since the program began. Cases are also down in the state, with daily infections around half of what they were 1 month ago. Jasper County Health Department reports 4 more COVID-19 deaths. Health officials say the patients were 3 men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and a woman in her 60s. The latest deaths bring the county's total to 231. University of Missouri has suspended all fraternity activities after a report of a freshman with alcohol poisoning. It happened early Wednesday at Phi Gamma Delta. The suspension includes social events and university-sanctioned activities. The Interfraternity Council voted to support the decision. The student in this latest incident was found unresponsive and taken to a hospital. No word on that student's condition. Volunteers helped put together a new play set to a local 4-year-old who's fighting cancer. Volunteers started construction at 9 yesterday morning, and a few hours later, they revealed the new set to Gabe Garrison and his family. 4-year-old Carl Junction kid is fighting leukemia. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
I'm talking this week about how warm our October 2021 has been. Well, harken back just 1 year ago on the day. We're not going to get up to 85, that is for sure, but that is our record at Joplin Regional Airport. Just 2020 got up to 85 degrees. This October is going to stick out just for the extended period of mid to high 70s that we've had, and we've got more on the horizon. We're also going to pick up some additional rainfall here as we head into the weekend. Now, we talk about the warmth. It's a little bit cool out there. 41 degrees is where we are in Joplin over 7th and Rangeline, 39 in Pittsburgh, 41 in Chanute and Carthage, throw Monette in there, throw Miami, 41, our popular number this morning. Wind's starting to swirl a little bit, but the nice thing is it has stayed calm. It's really not making a difference as far as our temperature and what it feels like. Pretty clean Skywatch storm tracker, remember. You can tell those are off of our sweeping radar sites, so no precipitation and really no cloud cover. All the clouds that we had, they have now kicked off just about to the Mississippi. The jet stream forcing all that cold air down to the southeastern portion of the United States. It's made some good headway since yesterday, and once again, the upper plains is where the rain will stay for this morning and this afternoon. Now, by the time we start talking about tonight into Saturday, that's where we see it begin to generate out to our west. and move in. Watches and warnings all the way from northwestern Kansas to the Great Lakes. This is everything from freeze warnings, frost advisories, dense fog advisories, the whole nine. They got a little bit of everything cooking up there. So it certainly could be colder. Let's be glad we're not in that, because interestingly enough, if you look at our first freeze maps for Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma, really do fall for our area in between about October 20th and say October 25th. So we're in that time frame where we should be getting close to a freeze or a frost, and far cry from that for what we've had with our overnight lows. And we're still going to be able to make it up into the low 70s later on this afternoon with a whole lot of sunshine. High school football kickoff forecast. No travel concerns for anyone. There's your 7 o'clock temperatures ranging from about 60 to 65. Shouldn't have much of a wind to fight either, just a little southwest breeze, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now let's talk about the good stuff. And when I say the good stuff, I mean the thunderstorms that are going to come in, like good old-fashioned rain. I'm not saying the good stuff is in and we want it to last for long. But as it formulates out to the west, heavy rain rolling through, especially, we're going to pay attention to the rain tracker, especially on this band right here, right through the central portion of the 4 states. Lasts until Saturday afternoon before it finally clears off. But then we reload on Sunday with another system that works southwest to northeast. And the severe thunderstorm risk map, yeah, we're in that marginal category, so high winds, a distinct possibility, as are possibly some flooding concerns here in the central portion, because that's going to put us anywhere from about 2.5, 3 inches of rain. I'll bump this legend up there. Our new graphic got in the way. I apologize for that. Now, what we've got on the 7-day forecast, still warm temperatures. Therein lies the problem, the instability that the warmth creates, and pushing up even almost to the 80s right there by Tuesday, before we get back to some actual October temperatures for Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News right after this.
Well, we've got plenty of movie news today, including some films in line for awards. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
Expert instruction. It takes families with unlimited financial resources. It's like asking somebody to believe that you got the next 2 Mozarts in your house.
Venus and Serena gonna shake up this world.
Here's your latest look at Will Smith as Venus and Serena Williams' father in King Richard. Smith is earning Oscar buzz for the inspirational drama, which arrives in theaters November 19th.
Children are a crushing responsibility. Happy birthday.
2 movies directed by actors are the top nominees for this year's Gotham Awards, honoring independent film and television. The Lost Daughter, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal and starring Olivia Colman, has 5 nominations, as does Passing, directed by Rebecca Hall and starring Tessa Thompson and Ruth Negga. The awards will take place in New York November 29th. Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne's love story is headed to the big screen. Variety reports the long and tumultuous relationship between the rocker and the manager-turned-TV personality will be turned into a biopic, produced by Sharon and her kids, Jack and Amy, and featuring music from Ozzy's band Black Sabbath and his solo career. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
We'll be right back.
Even though it's kind of a chilly morning, we're going to end up in the 70s, so we'll have a good 35-degree bump up here after sunrise at 7:33 tonight. That's the real development out to the west. Here come the thunderstorms that are going to roll in. A whole bunch of heavy rain, especially right to the central portion of the 4 states. We'll be back to do a 7-day forecast right after this.
Coming up, Missouri passes a milestone in the fight against COVID. And Mizzou shuts down fraternity activities after an incident of alcohol poisoning. Also, Missouri kicks off bear hunting season.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 6 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach. We'll get to those stories in just a moment. But first, let's go to Michael Hayslip.
Bear season.
Yeah, first ever from Missouri. Did you know there's over 800 bears in Missouri?
Oh, yeah, we got a ton of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people don't realize that. We got a bunch of them. Really, I mean, if you think about it, especially when you work down in the southwest Missouri and in northwest Arkansas. Get in the Ozarks, 41 degrees, I don't know. Is it that's not cold enough to hibernate? Nah, not yet. It is chilly though. Humidity at 93%. We do have some low-lying fog. We've dropped as low, excuse me, we've dropped as low as 35. Starting to bump back up there. We've got Fort Scott, Nevada now sitting at 37. Miami at 41. Pittsburgh 39. Skywatch Storm Tracker. Remember, we take off the sweeping radar. We're good to go. Cloud cover stays down to the south and out to the east. Clear as can be, which of course that means for chilly morning, but certainly could be worse as we don't have any of those frost advisories or freeze warnings like they have up north. Weather trend going to push us into the 70s later on today with a lot of sunshine. Let's talk about tonight into Saturday morning. We're going to get some heavy rain rolling through here. Pre-sunrise is when it starts, takes us all the way into Saturday afternoon, especially that little central band right there. And then we've got additional rainfall headed our way on Sunday that moves southwest to northeast. Everybody's going to get a little bit before we're all said and done, and sometimes it's not just a little bit. Check out the very central portion of the 4 states right there. That's going to be about, say 2.5, 3 inches of rain just by the time we get into Sunday. 7-day forecast, warmer temperatures, that's what causes the instability and the thunderstorm activity. Overnight lows only dropping into the 60s.
It's going to be
wet is what it's going to be.
very wet.
Especially that central line.
What time do we think it's going to move into?
We're going pre-sunrise Saturday.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to start early.
All right, be ready for it.
It's like voting in Chicago.
Luckily for
start early, start often.
Like if you were doing something like fall and Halloweenish this weekend, you could probably postpone it to next weekend because Halloween's not until Sunday. So
that'd be your best bet. You could probably squeeze it in Saturday evening.
Saturday evening.
You didn't like my shot at Chicago politics? Vote early, vote often.
Moving along.
Not that they ever do that.
All right, thanks, Michael. Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services on Thursday announced that more than 3 million Missourians are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. The milestone comes as the state concludes its vaccine incentive program, MoVIP. Officials say nearly 480,000 Missourians initiated vaccination since the program began. Cases are also down in the state, with daily infections around half of what they were 1 month ago. Jasper County Health Department reports 4 more COVID-19 deaths. Health officials say the patients were 3 men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and a woman in her 60s. The latest deaths bring the county's total to 231. University of Missouri suspends all fraternity activities after a report of a freshman with alcohol poisoning. It happened early Wednesday at Phi Gamma Delta. The suspension includes social events and university-sanctioned activities. The Interfraternity Council voted to support the decision. The student in this latest incident was found unresponsive and taken to a hospital. No word on that student's condition. Monday was the beginning of Missouri's first official bear hunting season. The Missouri Department of Conservation says the state's bear population has grown to the point that a hunting season would be beneficial. 400 hunters were drawn at random and have been split up into different hunting zones. Missouri officials say this new hunting season is no different than others.
And this is all based on the basic principle of allowing hunters to harvest game, but at the same time not impact population where it can't recover. That's the way all our hunting seasons are set up. Bear season is no different.
The state says the increased bear population is good for the state. Not only did it create a new hunting season, but it means the state's biodiversity is growing. Wednesday, U.S. Senator from Missouri Josh Hawley introduced a bill to take aim at supply chain issues. The Make in America to Sell in America Act would identify key goods to the U.S. for an annual report. It would also require corporations make a certain percentage of product here in America.
So I would say to all of those big multinational corporations, if you want to sell critical goods in the United States, you got to make at least half of it in the United States. That would secure our supply chains and give us good paying jobs. It would put us in a position of strength.
Hawley says the identified critical goods from the annual report would be subject to local content requirements. Mercy Hospital leaders kicked off the hospital's 125th anniversary celebration yesterday. Mercy leaders gathered at the site where the hospital's founders, the Sisters of Mercy, first stepped foot in Joplin. The Griffin building now sits on this land, but 125 years ago, it was a train station. Thursday's event is part of a year-long celebration for Mercy Hospital. Area students explore life in the 1800s in historic Cato, Kansas. 1869 Cato Schoolhouse is once again hosting Cato Days, which continues into Saturday. Students yesterday got a look at Civil War weapons, blacksmithing, and how farm-to-table worked then. Organizers also had an Osage tribe teepee set up along with items the tribe would have used. And some Missouri Southern freshmen got into the fall spirit yesterday by carving and decorating pumpkins. The event was hosted by the First Year Experience Program and the Advising, Counseling, and Testing Department. One student we spoke with says it offers a chance to show off artistic skills.
It's a great way for us to show off our creativity. A lot of us can be art majors or any kind of major. We all have a little bit of creativity in us, and if we can't, we can always Google an image, and it's easy to paint it on if you're not super artistic.
Pumpkin carving and decorating event took place in the campus oval. Well, volunteers helped put together a new play set for a local 4-year-old who's fighting cancer. Volunteers started construction at 9 yesterday morning. A few hours later, they revealed the new set to Gabe Garrison and his family. 4-year-old Carl Junction kid is fighting leukemia, but yesterday he was a pretty happy kid.
When they called us and asked us about if we wanted to do this, I thought, oh, absolutely. Like, that will be Gabe's most favorite thing ever. And just seeing him do it, like, he likes it more than I thought he would. I figured it would be like, oh yeah, it's really cool, but hearing all the stuff, it's just so much better than I thought.
Rock Solid Foundation and Backyard Discovery programs helped make the donation possible. 6:07.
Far cry from where we'll end up, because right now we range anywhere from 37 to 43 degrees, and we're going to end up in the low to mid 70s. A whole lot of sunshine, a little southwest breeze, and then as we get to the high school football kickoff forecast, 7 o'clock temperatures on your right-hand side, ranging from about 59 to 64, and great travel conditions early on. Remember, late tonight, early Saturday morning, here come the thunderstorms, and we're going to get some heavy rain, thunder, lightning, and also some high winds with those as well.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, a street performer singing a John Legend song gets a surprise visit from a legend. Plus, tens of millions of Americans are now eligible for COVID booster shots. We'll explain. And Snapchat takes issue with Apple's new privacy rules. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, jobless claims numbers improve. The Fed hands down new stock buying rules, and Snapchat takes issue with Apple's new privacy rules. Here's a look at some of the day's top consumer stories.
Stocks were mixed on Thursday despite improving jobless claims numbers. The Dow dipped 6 points. The Nasdaq rose 94 and the S&P 500 gained 13 to close at an all-time high. Yesterday, the Federal Reserve announced new rules prohibiting all policymaking and senior level officials from buying individual stocks or bonds. They'll still be allowed to buy broad-based securities such as mutual funds. The restrictions follow the departure of 2 regional Fed presidents whose investment activities came under scrutiny. Snapchat says Apple's new privacy rules are hurting its bottom line. Shares of its parent company, Snap Inc., fell sharply after it released its latest quarterly results on Thursday. The company says it lost $72 million. Although that was an improvement from a year ago, Snap said Apple disrupted the online ad industry by requiring apps to get users permission to have their data collected and tracked.
Drones could soon be delivering goods to some Walgreens customers. The drugstore chain is teaming up with Google's drone delivery service to make it happen, first in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. People can order things like over-the-counter medication and food and household items. Drones will then fly the purchases directly to your doorstep. Everyone's a video call critic. According to a new one-poll survey, more than half of Americans admit they've scrutinized a coworker's remote setup, from dimly lit to finding a new place to sit. Nearly 2 in 3 say they've upgraded their own spaces to steer clear of criticism. Nearly half have purchased new home office furniture since the beginning of the pandemic, while 40% said they redecorated an entire room. I can see that happening. That's it for Consumer Watch. We'll be right back.
Just seconds away from 6:17. Great time to roll a little weather on the 7s and a live look over 7th and Rangeline. 41 degrees is where we stand. It is chilly out there. 37 in Fort Scott and Nevada. Let's roll 39 in Monette and Pittsburgh. 41 is what we see not only in Chanute, but also in Miami. That's reflectivity from the sweeping radar. No precipitation, no cloud cover. It is clear and calm as can be. With the upper plains going to have the majority of the thunderstorms for this afternoon, we're going to get them overnight into Saturday. Still able to push up into the 70s, and then we get ready for the range to roll in. If you're out and about tonight, there's your high school football temperatures, 60 to 65. Travel conditions good early on. Now, if you're going to be out late into Saturday morning, here we go. Thunderstorms develop out to the west, carry us through pre-sunrise, heavy rain right through the middle, all through Saturday morning into the afternoon hours. We do show up in the marginal category on the severe thunderstorm risk map, meaning not only 2 to 3 inches of rain on that central band, but also we're talking about high winds being a possibility as well. What are the chances of this happening? Street performer singing a John Legend song spots the legend himself and the crowd watching him. Ginny Moose has a story on a legendary encounter.
A street performer in Boston you give me was crooning all of me when suddenly she got all of him. John Legend loves all of you. The man whose song she was singing was standing right before her eyes, though at first
I saw a man with a trench coat and a mask step forward. I thought to myself, that looks quite like John Legend, but that couldn't be him.
But then he took his mask off.
I was absolutely stunned.
In town for a concert, Legend was outside Faneuil Hall with his wife Chrissy and his kids, watching part-time singer Radha Rao perform Legend's song, never dreaming he'd be there.
It's definitely a fan favorite, and it's a song I feel so emotional about.
She said her mind went blank, she was nervous, but she kept singing as he nodded encouragement. Anyone who watches The Voice might expect him to wheel around any moment, but when Radha finished,
give it up for Mr. Legend, John Legend. That's a surprise.
Legend reached in his pocket for his wallet, walked over to Radha and gave her a tip and a hug, telling her the song was beautiful. Give my all to you. But how much of his all did he give? Could she tell us how big a tip?
I would love to, but I actually don't know.
She just put it in her tip box and continued her set. But the one thing she does know,
I did give it my all.
Ginny Moose, CNN, New York.
That's too cool right there. I see John Legend out on the street, I'd be like, hey John, what's up? I see Chrissy Teigen out on the street, I'd get nervous. Be right back after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, COVID-19 booster shots get a big boost from the CDC last night, making tens of millions of Americans now eligible to receive a COVID-19 booster dose today. Laura Podesta reports from New York.
Vaccine centers and pharmacies around the country are preparing to administer millions more COVID-19 shots. Federal health officials have signed off on giving boosters to a much wider range of people. Last night, CDC Director Rochelle Walensky approved a plan that makes as many as 100 million Americans eligible for another dose. The CDC is recommending booster shots for Moderna recipients 65 and up, and for younger individuals at a higher risk because of their job, living situation, or underlying health condition. The third shot should be at least 6 months after the second. The agency also recommended that all Johnson & Johnson recipients get a booster 2 months after their initial dose. The new rules allow those eligible to choose which booster they want, even if they originally received a different brand.
I really appreciated that we were finally able to look at, consider, and recommend a mix and match approach.
Last night, President Biden told a televised town hall that vaccines for children should soon be available.
Unlike past administrations, science will dictate this. The expectations are to be ready in the near term, meaning weeks, not months and months.
Pfizer is awaiting authorization for its reduced dose COVID vaccine for 5 to 11-year-olds, a group that includes some 28 million children. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
More Americans are living with a broken heart. A study from the Journal of the American Heart Association found that broken heart syndrome is on the rise. It also shows a clear connection on how the heart and the brain react together when stress or anxiety are present. The official term, Takotsubo syndrome, can mirror a heart attack, cause chest pains, shortness of breath. Study says it happens after a severe emotional or physical event like a breakup or a car accident. The data says mostly women, 50 to 74, have seen the highest increase. 88.3% of the nearly 135,000 cases were older women. One of the study's authors says some have had cardiac intensive care for days or weeks trying to recover, and death is rare. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Fun times. I got no idea what's on the clock.
You got about 30 seconds.
All right, there's your temperatures. Oh, shake that one off. Our weather trend for today, sunrise 7:33. Make it up into the low to mid 70s. Going to be delightful. Check out the panels on the right-hand side late tonight, early Saturday morning. Here we go. Thunderstorms roll in. Going to get heavy rain in a band that rolls through the central portion of the 4 states. Going to bring us not only heavy rain, but also thunder and lightning. Then we'll have additional rainfall on Sunday, and we'll be back right after this.
Coming up, Missouri passes a milestone in the fight against COVID. And Mizzou shuts down fraternity activities after an incident of alcohol poisoning. Also, Missouri kicks off bear hunting season.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 6:30. I'm Tanya Bach. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first, let's go to Michael Hayslip.
1 day ago, it was 1 year ago. 85 degrees, set a record high 1 year ago today at Joplin Regional Airport. And here we are sitting at 41 over 7th and Rangeline. Now it's going to be a nice looking afternoon. We'll have to wait for sunrise at 7:33 to get out of the high 30s, low 40s that we're currently sitting in, but not a whole lot of action in the Midwest. Still got that higher pressure sitting right upon us. A high school football kickoff forecast that will have us into the 70s for the afternoon, 60s around kickoff. And then travel conditions for early on will be good. But we are going to have some rain, and that's going to come in the form of late tonight, early Saturday morning. It'll formulate out to our west. Not only the thunder and the lightning, but also, too, watch this band that goes right through the middle of the 4 states. We're looking at 3.5 inches here because after Saturday, we're not done. Watch the cloud shift. We'll do it again from Sunday morning into Sunday evening as well. And we find ourselves with a chance for wind. And when we talk about our rain totals, watch these things begin to pile up. There's that line I was talking about right through the central portion. That's in that 2.5 to 4 inch category. That's why I just kind of evened it out. So, around 3.5 inches. Temperatures are going to be great. High 70s. We're just going to have to keep our heads above water and watch out for the wind. Not just the rain.
Yeah, it's something to keep an eye on,
Going
that's
to be
for sure.
gusty.
All right, thanks, Michael. Well, the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services on Thursday announced more than 3 million Missourians are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. The milestone comes as the state concludes its vaccine incentive program, MoVIP. Officials say nearly 480,000 Missourians initiated vaccinations since the program began. Cases are also down in the state, with daily infections around half of what they were a month ago. Jasper County Health Department reports 4 more COVID-19 deaths. Health officials say the patients were 3 men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and a woman in her 60s. The latest deaths bring the county's total to 231. University of Missouri suspends all fraternity activities after a report of a freshman with alcohol poisoning. It happened early Wednesday at Phi Gamma Delta. The suspension includes social events and university-sanctioned activities. Interfraternity Council voted to support the decision. The student in this latest incident was found unresponsive and taken to a hospital. No word on that student's condition. Missouri hunters now have another option when it comes to the types of animals they can hunt. This week marks the beginning of the state's first official black bear hunting season. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with an official from the State Conservation Department who explains why the hunting season was created and how area hunters can get involved.
Missouri hunters can officially add a new animal to their roster with the start of a new black bear hunting season in the Show Me State.
This is the first ever black bear season in Missouri. Anytime you can participate in the first ever of something, it's kind of a special deal.
The reasoning behind the new hunting season's creation has to do with Missouri's growing bear population.
Missouri's bear population is growing at a rate of 9% a year. That's a very good growth rate for a bear population.
And the new season, to manage the growing amount of Missouri bears, is still heavily regulated, just like any other hunting season.
Don't just go out in the woods and think, I'm going to shoot a bear today.
Hunting bears in Missouri isn't an easy thing to do. First of all, there are only 800 throughout the entire state, and finding them isn't that simple.
We hear stories of bears getting in barns, bears, getting on the edge of cities. When you're hunting for them, they disappear.
But before any of the 400 hunters that were drawn in the state's raffle can go out and start looking for bears, they need to do some homework, like buying a permit and attending an orientation. Mostly because Missouri hunters have never had an opportunity like this before.
We just wanted to make sure they had all the information, not only on where the bears are at, but what they're, how they can process a bear, some of the uses for bear meat, things like that.
Now, Missouri hunters will have this bear hunting opportunity for years to come. In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
This year's hunting season will run for 10 days or until the state's bear quota is reached. Wednesday, U.S. Senator from Missouri Josh Hawley introduced a bill to take aim at the supply chain issues. The Make in America to Sell America Act would identify key goods to the U.S. for an annual report. It would also require corporations make a certain percentage of product here in America.
So I would say to all of those big multinational corporations, if you want to sell critical goods in the United States, you got to make at least half of it in the United States. That would secure our supply chains and give us good paying jobs. It would put us in a position of strength.
Hawley says the identified critical goods from the annual report would be subject to local content requirements. Mercy Hospital leaders kicked off the hospital's 125th anniversary celebration yesterday. Mercy leaders gathered at the site where the hospital's founders, the Sisters of Mercy, first stepped foot in Joplin. The Griffin building now sits on this land, but 125 years ago, it was a train station. Thursday's event is part of a year-long celebration for Mercy Hospital. Area students explore life in the 1800s in historic Cato, Kansas. 1869 Cato Schoolhouse is once again hosting Cato Days, which continues into Saturday. Students yesterday got a look at Civil War weapons, blacksmithing, and how farm to table worked then. Organizers also had an Osage tribe teepee set up along with items the tribe would have used. Some Missouri Southern freshmen got into the fall spirit yesterday by carving and decorating pumpkins. The event was hosted by the First Year Experience Program and the Advising, Counseling, and Testing Department. One student we spoke with says it offers a chance to show off artistic skills.
It's a great way for us to show off our creativity. A lot of us can be art majors or any kind of major. We all have a little bit of creativity in us, and if we can't, we can always Google an image, and it's easy to paint it on if you're not super artistic.
Pumpkin carving and decorating event took place on the campus oval. Volunteers helped put together a new play set for a local 4-year-old who's fighting cancer. Volunteers started construction at 9 yesterday morning, and a few hours later, they revealed the new set to Gabe Garrison and his family. The 4-year-old Carl Junction kiddo is fighting leukemia. Yesterday, he was a pretty happy kid.
When they called us and asked us about if we wanted to do this, I thought, oh, absolutely. Like, that will be Gabe's most favorite thing ever. And just seeing him do it, like, he likes it more than I thought he would. I figured it would be like, oh yeah, it's really cool, but hearing all the stuff, it's just so much better than I thought.
The Rock Solid Foundation and Backyard Discovery programs helped make the donation possible. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News.
A deadly incident on a New Mexico film set involving actor Alec Baldwin. I'm Laura Podesta with details on the investigation.
Plus, public dancing. There we go. How do you feel about it? We let you weigh in, but first it's 6:37.
Waiting on sunrise at 7:33, because then we can begin a little bit of a warm-up here, because we are stuck in the high 30s, low 40s right now, but eventually we'll end up in the 70s. Great looking afternoon. Then we get ready for weekend rain. It'll start late tonight, early Saturday morning. It'll roll through all morning and even afternoon long from west to east. Gonna get some thunder, lightning, and also too, possibility of some high winds in that as we find ourselves in the marginal category on the severe thunderstorm risk map. 7-day forecast. Additional rainfall coming Sunday morning into the afternoon hours, and warm temps to begin next week before a real taste of October reemerges there for Wednesday and Thursday. Just got to try to dry out with all the rain that we're going to get in between then. We'll be back with Nation Watch next.
At Metro. Topping Nation Watch this morning, tragic news from a film set in New Mexico. Actor and producer Alec Baldwin discharged a prop firearm, killing one person and injuring another. Laura Podesta has details on how it happened.
A stunt on the set of the movie Rust went horribly wrong Thursday. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office says the film's cinematographer is dead, its director injured, after actor and producer Alec Baldwin discharged a prop firearm on set. The sheriff's office is investigating the incident. 63-year-old Baldwin, pictured here in costume in a now deleted Instagram photo, is currently not facing any charges. Bill Davis is a weapons expert who's worked on Hollywood film sets, including westerns.
Those are all real firearms. What's fake about it is the ammunition, the blanks that are loaded into it. There's no projectile in a blank, but what I think happened is people just didn't inspect the weapon and or did not inspect the ammunition that they were loading into it.
42-year-old cinematographer Helena Hutchins was taken by helicopter to University of New Mexico Hospital in Albuquerque, where she was pronounced dead. 48-year-old director Joel Souza was also struck and rushed to Christus St. Vincent Regional Medical Center in Santa Fe. Rust actress Frances Fisher tweeted overnight that Souza was released. Production is on pause following the tragedy. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
This is not the first time a prop weapon has killed on a movie set, the most famous victim being Brandon Lee, son of martial arts star Bruce Lee, who died while filming the 1993 movie The Crow. A fraternity at USC is placed on interim suspension after allegations of sexual assault surface. Officials at the University of Southern California alerted staff about the assaults at the Sigma Nu fraternity house. According to the email sent to staff, there have been reports of drugs put into drinks at a party, leading to possible drug-facilitated sexual assaults. It also explains the fraternity may not host or organize any activities, social or otherwise, during the suspension. University released a statement saying USC takes reports of sexual assault seriously and has a coordinated response team designed to promptly respond. We are deeply concerned when any student experiences any kind of trauma. We offer both private and confidential support resources. That's a look at today's top national stories. Let's check back in with Michael for our Something to Talk About.
Thank you, Tanya. On the KOM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll, a gentleman by the name of Patrick Deacon. He directs traffic up in Alaska with a little bit of flair, and drivers love to watch him work. They're honking, they're holler at him as the guy just consistently dances while he's on the job, and you got to love it. You're going to be out there for that long. Why not find a way to enjoy yourself? Kind of just made a little fun here on our Friday poll. Do you dance like no one's watching? 60% of you say absolutely. Break it down in the privacy of your own kitchen. 40% of you say no. I'm just deciding that that's just because you'll dance when people are watching. Why wouldn't you want to dance? We'll be back and celebrate birthdays and anniversaries next.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Loyal Almond, who served in the U.S. Marines from 1944 to 1946. A native of Riverton, Kansas, Almond was stationed in the Philippines. We are proud to salute and thank Private First Class Loyal Almond, our four-state hero.
Birthday list begins with Crew Epler. Hanging out there, a little King Griffey Jr. style on the hat. I love it. Happy big number 3, my man in Columbus.
Right, Taylor Lee turning 5 years old this year. She's got her My Little Pony.
My goodness.
Heck yeah, she got a little My Little Pony there.
Loaded for bear.
Happy birthday, Taylor.
On to the double digits. Cheyenne Fowler celebrating her 11th birthday. We've got a 4-H participant on our hands. A very happy birthday to you, Cheyenne.
Grand champion at that. Awesome. Congratulations. Callie Evans is turning 11 years old this year. That's a great picture of Callie there in Columbus.
Caden Thiel, now 12. Future rock star on our hands right there. Caden, keep up the great work, my man. He's in Columbus.
Looks like he's feeling that music. All right, Brady Otter turning 13 years old this year. Happy birthday to Brady in Nevada.
Well, Nevada Tiger Pride right there. Go get him, number 45. Jake Eddington, he's celebrating his 17th birthday. Jake, I want you to have a wonderful day in Columbus.
Andrew O'Doherty turning 18 years old this year. Nice picture there of Andrew in Pittsburgh.
In Jasper, Megan Fisher is celebrating her 22nd birthday. Megan, these birthday wishes coming with love from Granny and Papa.
Right, in Nevada, turning 27, it's time to celebrate for Michael Fritz.
JD Hatch, celebrating number 57. JD, a very happy birthday. He's out in Yates Center.
In Jasper, Missouri, Mary Woodhouse turning 64 years old this weekend. Happy birthday, Mary.
We've got reason to celebrate a 90th birthday for Lavinia Roemiller. Miss Roemiller, have a marvelous birthday. She celebrates in Miami.
All right, that's her birthday cake there. Have a piece of that. All right, Lavinia, happy birthday.
We go Lavinia's for lunch.
Sure.
Well, look, I mean, she's got a spread there.
Yes, I'll eat dessert for lunch.
No, we can't bother her on her birthday.
Happy birthday. Right, Rhonda Cooley in Columbus. She celebrated a big birthday yesterday. Hope it was a blast. Continuing on into the weekend. Happy birthday, Rhonda.
Amy Wade celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday to you, Miss Amy in Pittsburgh.
And Gary and Sharon Terry. The Terrys are celebrating their 5th anniversary this year. Congrats to them out in Carthage.
We've got a 61st anniversary, and we're going to bust out the original wedding photo right there as Ernest and Lou Winslow are celebrating in Lamar. And Mr. and Mrs. Winslow, I want you to know that this anniversary wishes comes with love from all of the kids, the grandkids, and that one little great-granddaughter that I know you guys love to spoil. Congratulations.
Oh, what a great
Who that
picture.
is?
Great picture. Hey, it's our own Daniel Rennie, one of our master control operator extraordinaires. Happy birthday, Daniel.
Good dude right there. Love talking to him. Happy birthday, Daniel. Have a great day, my man. Wes Payne, happy 39. Larry Hyatt has a birthday. A happy birthday to Larry in Columbus. And Janet Bacon, a happy birthday to you in Pittsburgh.
All right, Pat Bennett in Pittsburgh is celebrating a birthday this weekend. Jim and Ann Mangarelli are celebrating 44 years together. Congratulations to them out in Girard. And the models, Todd and Amber Model, are celebrating 10 years, their 10th anniversary this year. They're in Pittsburgh.
Happy birthday to Jeff Scott. Mr. Jeff. He is in Fort Scott, and Pat Black. A happy birthday to you. Pat is in Miami. Happy birthday and happy anniversary to all as we push into the weekend. That's where you can send them into birthdays at KOAMTV.com. Also connect to us via our website at KOAMNewsNow.com. Now here's Tanya Bach with a very important birthday announcement.
All right. Yes, you can become a part of the KOAM Birthday Club. All you have to do is go to our website and sign up. And once you do, you'll get special deals from local businesses. Go to KOAMNewsNow.com. Sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club today.
Light here. This is over the mothership as we see the skies begin to lighten up. 7:33 will be official sunrise over Joplin. It was 1 year ago today that we set a record in Joplin where we got up to 85 degrees. We're not going to certainly be that warm, but at the same point in time, we will be above our average high, even though it's only 41 right now. Tad bit cool out there, and we are seeing some low-lying fog with our humidity sitting at 93%, ranging really from about 37 to 43 degrees. So I'd grab a jacket for you and the kiddos before you take off. No wind chill in effect though, because even though the arrow's kind of swirling and variable, it's been rather calm outside. Haven't had any cloud cover. Everything that grew last night is now pushed off to the east. Colder temperatures hanging into the upper plains, but I think what's the impressive aspect of the cold front is now it's dipped into the deep southeastern portion of the United States. We stay out of any watches, warnings, advisories, but these are all associated with the cold, indicating freeze or frost, really from northwest Kansas all the way to the Great Lakes. And we're going to be a far cry from that, reach up into the low to mid 70s this afternoon, whole lot of sunshine with a little southwest breeze. And here we are for our high school football kickoff forecast. These indicating our 7 o'clock temperatures for kickoff, anywhere from about 59 to 63, 64 mainly. And then no travel concerns, as we'll be absolutely fine. No travel concerns unless you're out late tonight into early Saturday morning, because that's when we begin to pick up thunderstorm activity that works in from the west. And as it does, watch the band right here through the central portion. Thunder, lightning, heavy rain through the late morning hours, lasts into the afternoon. Sunday is even going to feed us additional rainfall and give us the threat of high winds on both Saturday and Sunday. As you can see, the severe thunderstorm risk map. But I'd say this may be even more of a concern, is right there. That's about that it says 2.5 to 4. I've got it at about 3 inches in that central portion. And then as we push into Sunday, additional rainfall is for everybody down to the south. So everybody's going to get wet this weekend in some form or fashion. 7-day forecast with nice temperatures, but therein lies our problem. The warm up adds that instability, brings us the thunderstorms. And Monday and Tuesday, we get to calm down a little bit. Wednesday and Thursday, a return of some typical October temperatures. We'll be back, wrap up this edition of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services on Thursday announced that more than 3 million Missourians are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. The milestone comes as the state concludes its vaccine incentive program, MoVIP. Officials say nearly 480,000 Missourians initiated vaccinations since the program began. Cases are also down in the state, with daily infections around half of what they were a month ago. Jasper County Health Department reports 4 more COVID-19 deaths. Health officials say the patients were 3 men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and a woman in her 60s. The latest deaths bring the county's total to 231. The University of Missouri suspends all fraternity activities after a report of a freshman with alcohol poisoning. Happened early Wednesday at Phi Gamma Delta. The suspension includes social events and university-sanctioned activities. Interfraternity Council voted to support the decision. The student in this latest incident was found unresponsive and taken to a hospital. No word on that student's condition. Volunteers helped put together a new play set for a local 4-year-old who's fighting cancer. Volunteers started the construction at 9 yesterday morning, and a few hours later they revealed the new set for Gabe Harrison and his family. 4-year-old Carl Junction kiddo is fighting leukemia. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And this afternoon, it'll lift us up into the low to mid 70s. We're going to bump up about 35 degrees from where we are right now. Big factor is tonight into tomorrow. Here we go. Thunderstorms roll in from west to east, heavy rain, especially in that central line as it works through. And after we get a little break there Saturday evening, we're going to be right back at it on Sunday. Sunday is going to bring very, very gusty winds. So when the rain does roll through with the thunderstorm activity, that's why we find ourselves in that marginal category on the severe thunderstorm risk map. Temperatures will be fine. I just want everybody to be weather aware beginning early tomorrow morning.
All right, well, coming up today at noon, we're making pumpkin patch pancakes in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Of course, your morning news continues on KOAM, where we have the CBS Morning News coming up next.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, we're talking about the update in the Bryan laundry case.
Also, too, any updates that we have on the severe thunderstorm risk map, we'll have those for you. And a video game covering empathy and understanding. It's now on the market, so stay with us for those stories. Actually, or flip on over. Stay with us, but flip over. It's a great thing about a remote. I mean, you got your coffee.
Channel up.
I know you're running around the house right now. It's Friday, right?
Yes.
Yeehaw.
Who's looking forward to Friday?
Did you just raise the roof?
I did.
You say that you have a laundry list of my old man sayings that you like to check off.
Is raising the roof
Right.
an old man thing?
No, but I mean,
that takes us back to high school, though.
You just kind of dated yourself raising the roof.
That's all right.
Like, I remember when Chris Webber used to do that. He's been retired like 20 years. Hey, have a great weekend. Do me a favor. Be safe. We'll do this all again Monday morning.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.
People go to all